Spiritual bypassing. Is this merely an excuse that people with minimal experience and skill use to hide their own lack of development from themselves? Or is this a real thing? So, what is most often being referred to through the term spiritual bypassing is a lack of development done in the emotional side of our being. And, this word gets thrown around a lot. In my experience, the vast majority of people that do throw this word around are using it to make it okay to their own ego. That they don't understand the words, teachings, and experiences of people who maybe have been on the path a hell of a lot longer. If you're doing some personal growth work and you're looking at sitting with your emotions and that's the extent of your work is in the emotional body, then very often you'll hear words of people who've done a lot of alchemical work and transmutation type work, and it'll seem like, no, that can't be real. That can't be real. So because I haven't experienced this thing, this quality of skill, it can't be real. Therefore, this person is making this up, is hiding the pain that I feel from themselves. So this is at the crux of most of this type of talk, right? I am experiencing dukkha to this particular degree. This person seems to be free of suffering, but that can't be true because my experience is the real experience and the only experience, and everyone should be subject to my current level of development, interpretation, understanding, and skill. So we want to be very, very aware of why we might be throwing phrases like this around. Now, can it be a real thing? Yeah. You can reside in certain bandwidths of spiritual transformation, certain bandwidths of light, etc., and not really need to engage with the lowest parts of yourself. And when you are bringing that energy through, instead of bringing that particular refinement through every aspect of your being, you can sort of sustain a type of connection and relationship in the absence of bringing it through the depths of density. The pain that arises, the dukkha that can arise when we bring highly refined states of consciousness, of light, of awareness, and unity down into the depths of density of normal physical experience, it can be a lot of, quote unquote, suffering. It can be a lot of pain there. So, of course, there's a tendency to stay in these higher bandwidths and to not necessarily work on really integrating it through fully and completely. Okay, now, part of the process of becoming, say, a divine creature, let's say you're doing deity yoga or something, is that you're really embodying it as fully as you can. Now, the greater the rhythmic swing between the refinement and the density that you go down, the greater the perceptions of pain will be, and the greater the, ontological or existential crisis that arises might appear to be, which means that your equanimity, your emptiness, your relationship with Akasha has to be strong enough to exist in the depths of density, as well as refined enough, pure enough to be an elevator right through, in, behind, and around the highest levels of refinement that you're capable of attaining at this point in your development. Okay, so most of the memes, etc., that you might see out there that involve spiritual bypassing go, hey, this hierarchy of like animals on the bottom and man at the top, etc., this pyramid with man at the top, and greater skill and lesser skill, etc., this is spiritual bypassing. And this thing where everything's the same thing, this is real spirituality. And I cannot think of a better way to hinder your own development than by convincing yourself that you have the same skill as someone who has spent, 7 decades, 8 decades of their life in the depths of meditation. There's a lot of arrogance in that. So we want to be, and what are you actually doing when you make that separation? You're literally doing the thing that you're calling spiritual bypassing, this hierarchical whatever, by going, hey, everything's the same, so we're better because we're not this. And, it's it's literally the exact same thing as your little meme of what spiritual bypassing might be that you might see out there, right? So you want to be aware of the motivation behind what it is that's being said and what it is that you're looking at. How does it support the efficacy of your own value, of your own perceptions, of your development and your skill? How does it support illusions of where you might, have some work to do? These are things we always want to look at because it's so easy, and it is everywhere. My group is better than this group because we blah, 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 right? This is the thing at a low level that brings a lot of community together. Why would you not join this community? Well, you join this one, and so because you're in this community or this community, you tend to abide by and find a resonance with the particulars of that community's other, expression of boundaries, right? Of, who the stupid people are, we're smarter, etc., etc. So be aware of this and look at when, how, and why you're lumping yourself into a particular category to satiate your own need to be right, essentially. That's what it comes down to. We need to embrace uncertainty, embrace the space of a question mark, possibility, openness, right? You cannot have, he says definitively, spiritual growth in the presence of imposition, right? Of barriers. You can make progress, but if your aim is a liberative space, eventually, then we need to be aware of where our own habits, intentions, and identity are limiting that very liberation. And group identity is one of those things. This is why the spiritual path is an individual path. You can have groups, friends, communities, support, but communities will raise the individual if they're just beginning to the level of the community, and they will pull down the growth to the level of the community as well. Okay, so it is an individual path and experience that is then reflected through every interaction that you have. Okay, so spiritual bypassing. Be honest with yourself on both sides of the spectrum there. Be honest. What is, if you're demonizing hierarchy, what hierarchy are you placing yourself in relation to that demonization? Okay, this is very, very important. Self-reflection. Okay, self-reflection as a part of the path, especially if you're teaching. If you're teaching in a position of authority over other people. And this can be subconscious, because when someone is coming to learn, you open yourself up as much as you can so you can absorb as much of the teaching as possible. If you're in a position where people are open to you in that way, we want to be really, really careful how we discuss what we do and what's out there. We want to be very, very cognizant of what type of barriers we're going to build in to someone else's identity, what type of candy we're going to lay out for someone's ego to latch onto. Why are you teaching, right? What are you trying to impart? And if you can treat the act of teaching as sacred, the act of learning as sacred, especially in these spiritual arts, then we can do it from a place of equanimity, and we can avoid the habit of cultivating in our students the very thing that the path is there to liberate us from, right? As a friend of mine mentioned very poetically, I believe this is in the words of Rumi, every teaching is a thorn being used to remove another thorn. So, as the Hippocratic Oath goes, do, that part, do no harm. How do you share spiritual stuff and do no harm? How do you only, to the best of your abilities, speak to the freeing, to the liberation, to the sovereignty of the beings you might be working with? Okay? So anyway, hope that clarifies a few things or offers some perspective. So thank you for watching. If you're interested in training, I'm offering a retreat coming up here in June 2025 in Hermetic Alchemy. This is a spiritual attunement, right? We'll be doing Qi Gong, nature magic, some advanced meditation, a lot of advanced meditation, and this is going to be a lot of fun. It's 16 days. So if you're interested, you can check the details in the description of the video here. It'll take you to the website. I also offer online courses in Tai Chi and Qi Gong, Hermetic Alchemy, and meditation. And if you're interested in private teaching, private coaching, private lessons, you can shoot me a note. These are 2-hour sessions, and we can do our best to organize a time. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Have a good one.